Okay, so I finally got my high pressure cap in that I'm going to put on the radiator, which is a Moroso. It says 31 through 33 pounds. So essentially, if I put this on the radiator, it won't ever open because I'm going to take the Griffin cap that's like 16 or 17 psi that's on it now, and I'm going to put it up here on my remote filler cap deal I got right there. So this should complete version number 2 of my cooling system, which so far with I just got this little block off silicone deal on there. This is actually a little bit of higher pressure cap than that one by like 1 pound, and it's been working great so far. I'm gonna keep that on there just to be redundant, but I mean, this actually works out great right here, because this filling point, when you fill it, it goes straight to the radiator and straight to the block. So I mean, this is the most simple and honestly the smartest way that I could have gone about it, since I'm not running power steering. I've got plenty of room right there. So that's worked out pretty well so far. I didn't have any problems trying to bleed it. It just kind of did it all by itself. So I've already heat cycled it a few times already. Well, 3 good times of fully heating up to operating temperature and then cooling all the way down. And then I'd ran it, a little bit before that when I first initially test fired it. Now it is time for the first oil change. And I'm just going to run some regular old conventional oil in it for a while. I read up and it said not to run synthetic on a freshly built motor, and I just have conventional in it right now with some zinc and phosphorus additive in it. So now we're going to change the oil and see how much metal and possibly, hopefully no rust. I got pretty much all of it out. There's a little bit in the oil galleries, so we'll see if anything comes out. I'll probably cut the filter open and look at it too. We're going to do that, and then we gotta take the radiator out to get to that cap, or well, at least try to get it forward. I'm gonna have to drain the coolant out of it and rebleed the system again, which isn't a big deal. So let's get to that. Okay, well, that was a lot easier than anticipated. I just unbolted it and moved it forward, and I could get to the radiator cap, and I didn't lose any coolant somehow, so that's pretty cool. So now I have the high pressure Moroso cap down there, and I have the Griffin cap up top. So you can see it now. So I was kind of upset that it was hidden down there. So I have my nice fancy Griffin cap right here, and you can see how I routed the cooling system. So I basically just went up, over to the remote cap, and then hook back this way. I have the steam line fitting hooked right there, and it just goes boop right there, and then coming back up this way to the top of the water pump, and then down there is still the same, just the 1.5 inch with 1.5 inch coupler to the 1.375 inch lower, whatever that comes out to be, and then I have the overflow line going under the throttle body, down the fuel rail, and to the overflow. And also, I have a fan now. Well, I have a different fan now. It is a 16 inch. It's just the DNA Motorsports, $30 on Amazon, and it actually blows very well. I read a few reviews. Some people said it was alright, some people said it didn't flow well, and I mean, it actually works really, really good. And it's just mounted with those through the radiator zip kind of deal things, which I'm going to make some type of mounting bracket in the near future, which won't be as hard as I was thinking. I can go off of here, and then I was thinking of using some of that 16 gauge I have over there and coming up underneath and like putting like some type of little guard or something on it anyways, and then I can build mounts up from there. But flows really well. I mean, I was sitting over here yesterday while I was running and smoking a cigarette, and it was sucking in behind the bumper and then blowing it that way. So, I mean, it's got a lot of force to it for 30 bucks. I'm happy with that. Alright, so that's figured out, and I don't have to worry about bleeding the system again, which is a plus. And now let's change the oil, and we will start it up and run it for a little bit. Alright, oil is changed, and let's start this thing up. I barely saw any metal in the oil. I'm still going to cut the filter open. It just had a tiny little shimmer to it and a couple little spots. Hardly anything at all. Assuming that's a good thing. Not 100% sure. Didn't see any rust, so that's a plus. But let's go ahead and start it up, and we'll let it run for a little bit. Whoops. Let's get more fuel pressure in. What's it doing? Are we out of gas? That was odd. Might be running out of gas. I only put a couple gallons in there, and I don't have a gauge hooked up, so I don't exactly know what's in the tank. Hopefully that's all that was. Don't know 100% what that could be, but we'll find out here shortly. Let's see if we have gas. Okay, I put a few gallons in. Let's see if hopefully that was the problem. And I think it was, because the fuel pump was getting kind of loud, and that sounds a lot better. I'll prime it one more time. Hopefully that was the issue. It should be.
what?
You got a leak down there.
What's leaking?
Liquid.
From that thermostat housing, it's gotta be. Okay, well, thermostat housing is leaking a little bit, or it's weeping, so I'll have to figure that out. But the fan isn't turning on by itself. I have to turn the car off and then turn it back on, and then the fan will kick on. But as you can see, the fan, I mean, it's blowing very well, and you can feel on the other side, you can feel how much air it's sucking, so that's working good. So, well, I guess the coolant system isn't done yet, but luckily that's something simple. I just have to figure out the little gasket deal in the thermostat. But, okay, dumb mistake on my part. When I was changing the radiator cap, I tightened the cap on the used to be expansion tank, which is now an overflow. So, because I have the hose coming out of the bottom, so the existing water in the tank wouldn't come out of this hose, and I forgot to loosen the cap again before I started the car. So the radiator cap could not bleed off, and apparently started seeping from the thermostat housing. So I would still like to make sure that that has a better seal, but remember to keep that cap loose, or one of the little plugs on the side. I might loosen one of those up just to make sure in case I forget again. So luckily that's all that was, and we should be good to go from there. Well, you know, at least it's running all right. Still needs a tune, so we got to figure all that out, which will be coming soon to a theater near you. But otherwise, I mean, coolant temperature's pretty good. I mean, with the fan on, I'm only getting around like 190, low 190s. So I'm happy with that. Of course, the hood's open and we're just idling. But you know, as a base point to start off with, I'm pretty happy with that. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here and go ahead and get this video out. And we'll see you guys in the next one.